Hi guys, Ren here and welcome to the workshop for another piece of my reflections. Now, having ridden and raced in 4 different disciplines and just scoring my first UCI points this weekend in a cross-country marathon, I think I'm qualified to say that I've met a pretty large amount of riders out there on the roads or at the races. Definitely more than the average person, and also having top 10 basically in each of the disciplines in the national level elite category. I can say that I'm not fast, definitely not a top guy just yet, but I have a bit more experience than the regular person as well. And one thing I found out is that most cyclists are slow. For example, taking my latest race, it was a cross-country marathon, 80 kilometers, almost 2,500 meters of climbing. There was a short course at 30 k's, and there were people finishing the 30k course later than we were finishing the 80k. Why is that? Some people might say, well, not many people have time to train, not many people are on bling bikes, etc., etc. And if we want to address that, the time issue, you have time for whatever you make time for. And you can train very effectively at just 5 to 6 hours a week. Not for endurance racing perhaps, but for other disciplines, for example time trialing, etc., or cyclocross, you definitely can, because those are short duration disciplines, even XCO when we talk about mountain biking. And the second one, bikes. No bike, whatever, however expensive, aero, light, stiff, comfortable it is, a bike is just a bike, a push bike. It won't go, or should I say, it will go only as fast as the engine, so you allow it to, so your own wattage, watts per kilo, etc. And this is where I'm touching the point I want to make today. So why most cyclists are slow? When you go on Strava and you look at people's rides, they boast about, okay, I've ridden 100 kilometers. Okay, I've ridden, 3,000 meters of elevation. I've ridden 5 hours. Today I've ridden a tough mountain bike course with some tough descents. But no one boasts about the most important thing. And that is, if you're a good rider, you're boasting about things like, I've done 5 watts per kilo for half an hour, or I've done 10 watts per kilo for 2 minutes, and don't really see that. And that's exactly the reason that people are slow. They don't understand the power, and they don't understand how all these other metrics that they are comparing, they're just completely useless. Your body doesn't know if, for example, you're on a mountain bike or on a road bike. On a road bike, in a bunch race this year, I've done 160 k's in under 4 hours while averaging 180 watts. And there was a lot of climbing, 1,700 meters, I think. Whereas if you take the mountain bike, I've ridden both quite a lot, so that's why I'm making these. But it's where the most obvious differences are. On the mountain bike, I had a normalized power of 250, so well over 4 watts per kilo for me, for more than 4 hours, and I've only done 82 kilometers. So that's what the difference is. When you really take it down to really what matters, is just how much power can you put out for how or for what duration. That's the only important thing in cycling there is. if you want to be fast. Because if you're riding along on a piece of road at 40 km per hour, are you fast? Are you not fast? Are the conditions fast? You look at Strava, you take the KOM, but are you fast in general, if you compare it to everyone in the world, or are you just fast among those people who ever rode that road? Maybe it's not very frequented. When you've got power and you've got that, okay, I'm doing 300 watts, that's decent. If you're doing 300 watts at 60 kilos, you know that you're decent. When you're doing 300 watts at 100 kilos, you know that when you compare it to the pros, that's not really good. So yeah, it's where it's at, people. All the time I get questions asked on my Strava account, how do I go so fast with so little heart rate, or it's a good speed because my heart rate was just that and that, and if I ride it's this and this. It's all bullshit, people. It's how much power you can put out for what duration. Power is the only thing that matters. Okay? At least on the road it definitely is. In time trials, road racing, climbs, okay, tactics as well. On a mountain bike, skills, bike handling, cyclocross, the same. But ultimately, the only thing you should be comparing, and the only sensor you should have on your bike, is a power meter and a device that records the power and displays the time. These are the things that matter. Okay, so these two. You don't need a speed sensor. You don't even need to look at your speed. You can get it from a GPS if that's what you want. I have it on my display, but I rarely look at it, I have on my Wahoo, I have the biggest screen for power, All the other ones are tiny little items on my screen. Power is more important than anything else. Okay, so this was my little reflection and the thing I've been thinking about lately. I hope it will be helpful. I'm sure there'll be many people telling you that you don't need a power meter. Those people most of the time are not very fast, not very fit, or just not very up to date. But if you're starting out now in 2018, 2019 approaching soon, and you want to be a fit, fast cyclist, you only need one thing or two things: power meter and a computer that displays your power and records your power file and shows you the time. If you want to know more about my actual bikes and how they are set up, what power meters do I use, I have this Stages t-shirt right now. I've used Stages, good units. I use Quark at the moment because that's more convenient and practical with SRAM drivetrains. Well then, just subscribe to the channel for more content. Perhaps look at my Strava or Instagram accounts. It's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.